Thank you.
Thank you. Senator McDonald, I'm sorry, Senator Roberts, do you have questions of... Sorry, do you have questions of Infrastructure Australia before we get to Northern Australia Infrastructure Facility?
Yes, I do. Thank you for appearing today. Does Infrastructure Australia have any views on what roadblocks there are to port development in Queensland? I know you wouldn't be prepared for it, just off the top of your head.
We're not aware of any particular barriers.
Okay. Have you done any work on or any reviews on the effect of the Sustainable Ports Development Act 2015? It's Queensland legislation. It appears to me that legislation is a significant roadblock to ports in our state, because I don't know if you can even build a boat ramp under that law. It completely restricts, and I've formed that view after listening to an expert on this, and I'll explain more in a minute. It completely restricts port development all the way up the Queensland coast except for Gladstone, Townsville, Hay Point and Abbott Point. Do you know who owns those ports?
No, Senator.
Queensland Government.
Queensland Government strategy from a long time ago.
They own the ports. So I had a meeting with a business in my state recently based on the Gold Coast. The name of the business is Sea Transport. It's internationally, it works internationally. It's a magnificent little firm in the Gold Coast. A truly incredible business, humbly creating some of the most incredible boats I've ever seen. What's that?
Oh, sorry.
They showed me a plan they had to create mini ports all the way up the Queensland coast, dozens of them, private investment. They've already been operating one successfully in the Gulf for 30 years, I think others around the country. From what I could see, it would literally unlock far north Queensland, especially in agriculture. Then the Queensland Government passed the Sustainable Ports Act that said, nope, no more ports in Queensland, except those that I just listed that the state government owns. Now, this is blatant evidence that productive infrastructure investment is being squashed so a state government can maintain a monopoly and control. Surely, don't we have to consider that an impediment to infrastructure in Australia?
We haven't done any sort of analysis on that particular legislation, but thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Can I... I've got a few more questions.
Yep.
Now, my staff asked this committee yesterday, and they said I could either ask these questions in infrastructure, I think, or in regional infrastructure. When I got to regional infrastructure, I couldn't get the answers. They said to go to Infrastructure Australia and the North Queensland Water Infrastructure Authority, which is now tomorrow, I understand, in the Department of the Committee, Environment Committee.
Never been in that committee, so I can't help you.
Do you have a list of every infrastructure project that is started or underway in Queensland outside the southeast region, in other words, regional Queensland?
Mr. Brogan might be able to discuss that. We have a piece of work called Market Capacity, which may answer that question.
Yeah, Steve Brogan, Acting Chief Policy and Research. We collect data from the Queensland Government and other governments across Australia.
Including federal?
Including federal, that indicate information as simple as when a project would start and total investment cost, but no more detail than that for the purposes of understanding market capacity constraints, as supply and demand constraints in the market.
Labour, construction workers.
Correct, 100%. That's correct.
Could we get a list of that, please?
We can.
For Queensland projects outside of the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast and Brisbane.
That data is collected with the governments through an agreement that is in place to formalise the confidentiality of the data that's supplied. So I understand your question. I think we have to take on notice what we can provide in respect of respecting that confidential information.
Yeah, I don't want the details. I just want a list of the projects worth over $100 million or more outside of the southeast metropolitan area.
We'll take that on notice, Senator.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I just say that we are scheduled to finish at 11 o'clock and we're just letting everyone know.
I've got
No.
one more.
Yep, of course.
Oh, maybe two. Two specific projects, please. The Cairns Western Arterial Road. It says that the website for the department says that Infrastructure Australia has not yet assessed a business case. Has it?
No.
It has not?
No, Senator, it has not.
Thank you. What about the Isaac and Whitsunday region's productive water supply, incorporating the Hughenden Dam proposal? Do you know where we are on that?
Mr Tucker.
Yeah, we have a proposal on our priority list again at stage 1, and it recognises that there is an opportunity to provide high productive water in that region. We've had some engagement with the proponents of the Hughenden Dam over the last couple of years, but a business case hasn't been brought forward to us for detailed assessment.
Okay, thank you. Last question, Chair. I haven't seen the great Queensland dividing range scheme on any list of infrastructure. Am I able to give this to the department, to the Infrastructure Australia?
Yep. You'd like the table?
Yes. It's a wonderful project. It goes over old ground, but it's entirely new. The concept is old, but the project is new. With a proven business case, it provides 4 million megawatt hours of hydropower, which is 11 times Snowy Hydro 2, and powering $2.5 billion in primary production every year at a cost of just $22 billion less than Snowy Hydro. So I think it's important that Infrastructure Australia is aware of this kind of proposal. It's being led by some people with track records on infrastructure.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll let you go.